always look at it. How much do you need every month? And then we put on top of the tax and then all the other costs. And then we reach for the pricing. And always we need to put as well a plan for the growth. So while we putting the pricing, we do a budgeting as well. So it's all like a system of connection, and that is where we can put the right price and we can get the right profits.
Hello and welcome to the Art of Value Whispering podcast. I'm your host, Melitta Campbell, value whisperer and business coach, and now TEDx speaker. I was really excited to be there at TEDx Swansea at the weekend, sharing the art of value whispering with the audience there. I had just the most amazing time. The other speakers and their ideas were phenomenal. The audience was brilliant. The support was out of this world. I still feel I haven't quite come down from that experience yet. I am really looking forward to sharing the video with you once that's available. And I'm looking forward to watching it because one of my big fears, maybe for you as well, is standing up speaking, giving the talk of my life and freezing, forgetting what I was going to say. And that didn't happen. But I keep getting flashbacks about what I did say, and it wasn't what was in my script. So I'm really looking forward to listening to that back and seeing what I actually said in the moment. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. Today, we are looking at your six-figure mindset. And my guest, Tiba, we had a conversation a little while ago, and it was really interesting to see how, while we covered different things, I'm more looking at the messaging, marketing, and sales. She's looking at the finance, accounting, the numbers within your business. But we have both noticed that success comes down to your mindset and how you see yourself, your self-image. And we're going to dive into that shortly. So I was excited to invite Tiba onto the show to talk about what does it take? What are those common mindset blocks that she sees that holds us back from having that six-figure business and building that to six-figure profit, so we can really create an impact that we feel amazingly proud of, and we can grow that impact over time as well. So I'm looking forward to digging into that. Before we do, a quick invitation to come and join us in the Dream Clients Club. It's a free community, and every week we have a live marketing masterclass with myself. And this week we are talking about your visibility confidence. So not your numbers confidence, but your visibility confidence. And I'm going to be sharing with you the 3 questions that you can ask yourself to turn around any self-doubt in any situation. So I am really looking forward to sharing that with you. So come and join us at melittacampbell.com/club. If you head on over to the calendar in there, you'll find the link to join the Zoom live masterclass today, this afternoon. If you miss it, if you're listening to this a little bit later, then come and join the club anyway, and you can watch the replay in the classroom. So I look forward to seeing you over there. Meantime, I'm going to invite Tiba to share her insights on how we can achieve that six-figure mindset. Hi Tiba, it's great to have you with us on the show today.
Thank you very much. Hi, Melitta. Thank you for inviting me.
And I'm excited for this conversation because we've talked from time to time about money mindset, finance, profit first, all of these kind of things. And we were having a discussion, and you were talking about how you've been an accountant for many, many years, and you help business owners to reach 6 figures, but you start with their mindset. And I thought, oh, that's really interesting. And of course, being someone who's really big on mindset, I was really curious about that. I'm not going to give any spoilers. We're going to dive into that in a minute. But before we go into that part of our discussion today, I'd love it if you could give the audience a little bit of an introduction into what you do and how you got to where you are today.
Oh, thank you. So what do? I help business owners to reach 6-figure profit. How I reached to here is actually as an accountant, I was doing client consultation, and that is divert it to coaching because it wasn't enough just giving that consultation. It was the problem they don't implement it. And that is when I dived to coaching, and I went and I educated myself for 5 years to become the coach who I am today. And through the process of coaching, I discovered is not about just giving them the business tools to be able to achieve that 6 figures profit. It was all about the business owner. It's about their mindset. And that is where I divert my coaching program to. First, we start working on the mindset. And that is how we take it in. As soon as they go from the first stage, everything become easier and easier. So it's the hardest one is the first stage, which is the mindset. And I find it is also some clients, like when they start, they find it very strange to go to the mindset first because they're expecting they go straight away. We come to business growth. We wanted to know how we reach that six-figure profit, but it's before that we work on them self, on their mindset, and become the process so easy after that.
Yeah, fascinating. And I want to take you back a little bit further, because I know when we were talking about this before, you were explaining about how, I mean, you've been an accountant for many, many years, working for yourself, working for companies. And when you worked with business owners, they didn't always view profit the right way. They didn't view their accountancy and their financial information in a way that was really supporting their growth, which took you to the mindset. Can you tell us a little bit about how the typical entrepreneur or business owner thinks about profit and accounting, and what's more helpful for them to think about it in terms of a more mindful way?
Right. Is always numbers, understanding your number, understanding what is your net profit, what is your gross profit, what is your direct cost, what is indirect cost. That is something entrepreneur is starting with the idea, and it's beautiful to have an idea. But then how we looking is the cost on a daily basis. What is the cost on our hourly rate? What we have, the cost for our place, for our team, how much sales we need to do to just to break even. So that is the way I always tell them, look at your cost, fixed cost, indirect cost, direct cost, and then you will know that how many clients I should have, how many customers, how many sales, how many products should I produce to be able to achieve that break-even point. So always is numbers. Let's not be scared from numbers. Without knowing our numbers, we cannot make the profit we want, or we cannot create the life we need. It's not about money. Yes, it's about we having that business, but it's the we need to make profit to live, and to also we have responsibility towards our employees, and to also about our community or about ecosystem as well. How are we going to build that sustainable business without knowing our numbers?
Yeah, yeah, and it can go either way here, can't it? So sometimes businesses need a lot of clients and they haven't quite realized the volume that they need. But likewise, for smaller businesses, maybe you're a coach and they're thinking, oh, I need thousands of clients, but actually they only need a small handful. But it's all about that profit or the cost and the value balance, getting that right. So, well, let me ask you this. How would you describe a profit mindset?
Right. Profit mindset first. That mindset and that person should take full responsibility of their numbers. We don't need to wait for the accountant to tell us, oh, you made profit. Oh, this year was bad or is good. On a daily basis, we know is actually what profit we made and what liability of tax liability we need to pay and what cost as well we need to cover. So it is first is taking full responsibility of our action, and also taking responsibility of understanding our numbers. Yeah. So that is the first. The second is having that is sometimes feeling very overwhelmed to have knowing the number, knowing the marketing, knowing how we find the clients, but take it step by step. Business is simple. First is understanding how many clients we need every month and how we're going to get it on that month. So always I work with my client if they are usually already in business and they want to increase their turnover. So we start understanding is actually what is the cost? Is there anything we can reduce from that cost? Is there things which we don't need it will be part of the expenses? We can get rid of it. And then second, how we can get that extra sales to increase that profit. And then it's not difficult. I can see my client after a month starting with me, 1 month, and then they starting hitting the target. Just we increase the sales 10% or 15%, depends on the business. And then they start hitting the target, and then they send me screenshot of their turnover of the month. And we say, yes. So today are lots of messages because it's 1st of July. So we close June and there is the messages coming. Actually, we reach that turnover.
Yeah. So in terms of profit, is that the way to increase your profit, reduce costs and increase sales? Are there any other things that people should be thinking about?
So always thinking of your direct cost and indirect cost. Direct cost meaning anything involved with your producing that product. For example, if we have construction company and they wanted to look at what is the cost for their labor and what is the cost for the material, then material labor is the direct cost because they cannot do the job without those two. And then looking at these two, can they find another supplier? How can they have the team in different levels? So there is one expert, there is one can be a less, or so that is when we can see the cost as a labor and the cost as a material. We reduce it, then we will have the gross profit. We see what is the margin of the gross profit, and then we're looking at the expenses, indirect expenses. What other expenses we can reduce? And that is when it's going to be, then we go to the net profit. So that is the way how we calculated and getting to increase our net profit, not just talking about any profit, is net profit, not just gross profit. So always they look at the gross profit and net profit separately.
And what role does pricing come into here? Because I would imagine, and correct me if I'm completely wrong, but a big problem if you don't have the right mindset and the right numbers working for your business, that you're going to end up in the trap where you just discount the whole time and end up getting in this vicious cycle of not quite hitting the numbers or just getting by. And then you're putting yourself at risk because you don't have that buffer. If one thing goes wrong, then everything falls apart. I may be being a bit dramatic here. Does that play a part of it?
Absolutely, you're right. So always we look at it reverse engineering. So we look at it is how much do you want money for yourself after tax, after paying pension? What is the net profit that you take it home after your tax, after national insurance contribution? And then we start working is actually, then what is the percentage we need to put on top of that profit? And then we look at the cost. What is your cost, direct cost? What is your indirect cost? And then after that, we can put the pricing. Pricing doesn't come from anywhere. Pricing has got a structure to build. Large company, they have that structure, but small business owner, they don't have this structure because they started is either sometime is they basically they left their job and they started their business, or they got a hobby and can turn to a business. So they don't have that structure of building. So we always look at it. How much do you need every month? And then we put on top of it the tax and then all the other costs, direct cost, indirect cost, and then we reach for the pricing. And always we need to put as well a plan for the growth. So while we putting the pricing, we do a budgeting as well. So it's all like a system of connection, and that is where we can put the right price and we can get the right profits.
I love that idea of thinking about your numbers as all connected, which makes sense. You know, when you say it, it sounds obvious, but I'm not sure I always think about it that way. I'm sure other people are sitting there going, oh yeah, me neither.
I tell you what, it's not easy. Like if you asked me about this 20 years ago, I wouldn't know that. Even if I study accountancy and I study business, but I wouldn't understand it this way. But after all the experience of being an accountant and being myself entrepreneur, building multiple businesses, that's the way now when I see it, I see the whole picture. And that's when I say is the connection. And that's why I allowed myself now to help business owner to go through this process and learning numbers and building successful businesses.
Yeah. And so is that what you do mostly with the mindset, is helping them understand the numbers and get comfortable with those? Or is there something else that they need to shift to make this all work?
First step is having the awareness. So with mindset, our first step is understanding themselves, understanding who they are in the business, understanding the reason why they're doing what they're doing in that business, understanding their purpose in the business and outside that business, because they are, what I found is actually our purpose is embedded in our business without us feeling it, without knowing. All of us as entrepreneur, we started the business for a purpose.
Yeah.
What is that purpose? I help them to learn more about their values, because even their values, it comes through even the way how they networking, the way how they deal with their team, how they deal with their client, with their supply, is also, we are so in connect. So the same way as I see the finance is in connect, us as entrepreneur, we connect within our values. So always I work on they connect with themselves first, and then after that they will be connect with the surround. So that is the first step we do work on the mindset.
Yeah, interesting. So value whispering, the theme of this show, it's all about understanding who you are, your dream clients, that experience that you want to create for your clients, but also what is that experience that only you can create, because no one quite has your purpose, your values, your outlook, your experience, your philosophy. So it's bringing all of that together and making that connection, using your word, with the dream client. So it's really interesting to see that you have a similar process that starts with that and then connects that to the numbers, because how we drive value is not just in terms of the offer that we have, the final offer, but everything to do with how we deliver that and how we make people feel. And the numbers can support all of that. So it's really nice to see all of that working together.
It is. Talking about like the values and the way I see it, each individual, we are so unique, and we were born as a unique human. It just lets that uniqueness to show through us and through our businesses. And that is what I work with my client. And the beautiful, when as soon as we reach to this stage, they become more confident. And when they achieve that confidence, then they be able to learn and achieve even things hard. Like some people, they don't like numbers. Some clients, it's not their natural. They want to have to look at their numbers. And they said, we have an accountant and I want the accountant to look at it. But it's actually, as soon as they reach that point, they are confident within themselves. All these challenges become easier.
Yeah. So you mentioned that the numbers have to come from, the person and the mission and the purpose of the company. How does that then change things in terms of maybe their leadership style or how they employ their team and care for their team? Is that all connected as well?
Absolutely. When they are confident with their number, then when they give their offer to their new member of team or even member of their team, they will be confident to offer them the salary or the bonus. So they are all into connect, understanding their numbers, understanding that as also is like they value their team in different way, because if without this, their teams, they wouldn't be able to make that numbers. So always I encourage my client to have that share profit scheme to help them to tell to their team, we appreciate your work, we appreciate you to be part of this business. So it is 100%, yeah, they are connect. All is knowing your number, you'll be able to communicate clearly with your team and with your customers as well, and your offer as well, and that will help you to maintain a client relationship and team connection.
I love that. And coming back to the mindset idea, are there any common shifts that most entrepreneurs need to make in order to reach their six figures? Is there things that people can look out for and think, oh, yeah, that's me? Because one thing I've discovered with mindset is very often the things that are holding us back that are related to mindset are hidden. We don't know it's related to mindset. We think they're related to something real and fixed and a situation that we can't change. And once we understand that, then everything changes. Is it the same thing with the numbers?
Absolutely. Understanding their self-concept. When they come to that self-concept, they will know is how they see themselves. Like some people, they look at themselves, I'm not good at number. If a teacher told them when they were young, oh, you're not good in numbers, then when I build my business, I don't look at number because I'm not good at number. I need to get the accountant look at the numbers. But the accountant look at so many clients with the accountant looking at your number the same way as you looking at your numbers, and your numbers means money for you, but for your accountant, it needs to prepare a set of account for your business to basically serve your business, and also is the compliance for HMRC. So it is not the same. You looking at your number is different than the accountant looking at your number. Definitely. So it's a self-concept, understanding self-concept. And that is will help our understanding why we doing what we doing and why we are saying no to numbers, and things coming like amazingly through that understanding the self-concept, things coming from the past, like from age like 7 or 8 or 9, why we are doing and why we don't want to look at number. And many of them is like either the mother without knowing, or the father is like start saying, oh, you are better in maths, you are not that good because your brother better than you. It's without knowing. These things start working on our subconscious mind, and we carry it all the way. Even when we are entrepreneur or we are employees, we take this mindset with us. So having that full awareness and understanding our self-concept and where is it coming from, that will help a lot.
Yeah. So once they have this mindset and they're comfortable with numbers and they're looking at their numbers regularly, they know where they're at, they're making better decisions. Do they still need an accountant, or should they do that themselves as well?
We need accountant, definitely. Accountant they are not going to be accountant, they are entrepreneur. So the accountant will prepare the right set of account to prepare to submit end of the year and calculate the right tax. But doesn't that stop the entrepreneur to understand their numbers? Especially there is a plenty of softwares now, and it's easy to function that software. Small training they can understand, and that is something as well. I always recommend that having that training, and they do few steps of their bookkeeping or having a bookkeeper, then they will understand the reports. They will hire a bookkeeper, and highly I recommend a bookkeeper to do the work for them if they don't want to do it. And then they will understand the report. And that is what is I hold their hand to understand the report, because from there they can make the right decision for their business and they can plan for their business. So definitely, yes, they need accountant and probably bookkeeper as well. Yes.
And I guess it's a case of you don't want to be doing all the things in your business. You want to be understanding everything that happens. But if you end up doing everything, then you have no time to run your business and get innovative and creative and look at the growth opportunities rather than, being pinned down by things.
Absolutely. Just to add, I always work with the business owner, ask them to write their job description, because they do everything in the business. And the more they do everything in the business, you see the profit very little.
Mm. So is that a big mindset shift as well for your clients, like delegating and hiring more people and getting a better team in place?
Yeah, they will see that the turnover increase, the profit increase, just by having the right mindset, holding everything and not let go of the task. That is the big obstacle to every entrepreneur, to every small, medium-sized business owner. You don't need to hold it for yourself. Let other people, they will do better job than us. Is important we delegate, hiring the right people to do the job.
Yeah. And I guess once people delegate and they start to see their profit increase and their growth increase, then that's incentive enough to keep going.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you see them, they start hiring one after the others.
So let's give the audience a bit of inspiration here, because if they're in that space where maybe it's just them in their business, or they have a team but they're doing way too much themselves, can you give us an example of a client who was in that situation and they turned things around and now their business is flying? Can you talk us through what that feels like for them?
So majority of I could say 30% of my clients, they come like that. So they are one person in the business. So first thing always we do, we get them a bookkeeper. So the numbers it can be done by the bookkeeper. Second, we get them a VA to deal with a small marketing task, which they don't need to involve. And then we free their time. Is the main thing, we free their time to look after their business and their client, at the same time also to look after their well-being. Because with an entrepreneur and small business owner, they get really burnout easily, and they don't know they are burnout because that is part of it. They do everything.
Mm-hmm.
The day long for them. The task always, they put multiple tasks during the day and they cannot finish it during the day, and then they end up doing it after they finish the day with their children, put them in bed, and then stay working until 2 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, first thing, we get them someone to do the numbers, so it can, then we will know what's going on in the business. Second, we free their time of their admin side things, which is then it get faster. They will focus on what something is they are specialized in, and something is the business will run the business just by them, and to replace them it will be, how can I say, it will be the most expensive, and also no one can do this job. So that's why it must be that is them, they do it. So we will look at the business and we replace part of them. So we look at their job description and we start highlighting which is first. The fastest client I have, within 3 months, they reach their target. Within
Wow,
3 months.
that's amazing. And I love that idea of have like really detailing your job description, being honest about what exactly you do, not saying, oh, well, I won't add that because I know I shouldn't really be doing it, but being honest and then starting to see, well, how can I group these tasks into different roles that I can then delegate? One thing that I did in my business preparing to get my VA was I just filmed everything that I did. And then her first task was to turn those videos into processes. So then she just listed out everything with links or whatever. And then she went ahead and did it. So that was my process, which made it very easy. But yeah, I like the idea of starting with a job description. Have you had people that have done that job description and been really shocked by what they're actually trying to do?
Absolutely. They got shocked. And the other thing, some of the tasks, they do want to let it go. And that is when it could be a trust issue, or it
Mhm.
could be, no one better than me to do that task. And that is when we will go in depth, why you thinking this way and why you feeling this way. And that is when new things will come up. We'll have a good reason why we don't let go of this task. So it's amazing. I love coaching, and I love what is it bringing out of it of all of us. I believe in coaching, and it does make a massive difference to our businesses and to our life.
Yeah. Yeah. And something you said there reminded me of some advice that I was given by an old mentor. And it was really to, imagine, like, well, know what your value is. So say your value is $250 an hour. Like, would you pay someone $250 an hour to make your Canva graphics? You're like, no way. You're like, great. Well, why are you doing it? And I thought that was quite a neat way to turn things around as well. That got me to get rid of a whole load of tasks, I can tell you. So, sticking with this idea of inspiration, I know that there are women in my network, and it's mostly women. I haven't heard any men say this yet. Um, that they're like, well, I don't do it for the money. I don't want to earn millions. So, why should people be aiming for six figures? What does that do for you and enable you to then do for maybe your family or the community? Is six figures a really good target for people, or does it not really matter?
Thank you for mentioning this point because I have it as well. I have it in my community and women saying, why do we need to reach to six-figure profit? And their question is, why not wanting to reach six-figure profits? And if we reach that six-figure profit, what are we going to do? What impact we going to do with that six-figure profit? If it's to our family or to extended family or to the community or to the international community. So that is my question is, a six-figure profit with the high inflation, I see it as a basic because everything got very expensive. So a six-figure profit, if we're talking about 30 years ago, if you're less than six-figure profit, you can buy the property you want. You can pay the mortgage. You can send your children to a good education. But now it's become actually with the inflation, six-figure profit just about. So that is the way. And always the question is why we don't want to reach that six-figure profit. And we have a relationship problem with money. And that is why we, as women, we don't accept that we are demanding that six-figure profit. Is actually from young age, especially now, the generation which we are grown up. The younger generation is actually, they wanted the money because they have already reason to spend it. So before the money, they achieve that money, they got a list of things to spend it on. But the generation, which is older generation, which is, I'm talking about 30s, 40s, and 50s, is the reason why we're not reaching that. But it's all coming to mindset. There is a limitation, the way we've been raised as a female. Limitation can be from the family, or it could be from society, or it could be from religion as well.
I love that question. Not like, why do you not want to go for that? What is holding you back? What is that conversation that, or that story you're telling yourself that you're not worthy or it's a bad thing? And instead see that it can actually help you have more impact. And I guess as well, you know, if we look back a few years, we had a bit of an event with COVID and everything stopped and changed. And if you had that six-figure profit before that, then you would have had a nice cushion to make sure that you were protected, your team was protected, and you wouldn't have to worry about that as well. So yeah, I love that reframe that you just shared. Tiba, you've shared so much information, and I love just how clear and concise all of your questions have been. It's like normally I have like, oh, but you didn't mention this bit. It's like, no, she answered everything. You clearly have done a lot of thinking around this, and you've really condensed all of that experience into some really clear messages for the audience. But is there any other information or insights or maybe inspiration that you feel the audience would benefit from knowing as they go and start moving towards a six-figure profit?
I would say just be authentic. Show your authenticity. When you show your authenticity, you will connect with the right prospects and give really what you believe you can give. And that will help you to have that successful business. You will reach six-figure profit with ease. And number 4, look after yourself. Your health is a priority. There is no point to reach six-figure profit when you are not healthy. So that's the 4 tips I would say and advice for every entrepreneur.
I love that advice, and particularly that last one about your health, because you know, coming back to what we were saying about holding on to tasks and not delegating, there's this big myth that if you're a business owner, you have to work around the clock. You're not successful if you're not run ragged completely. But it is a myth, and we need to help people understand that there is a better way. And if you have, as you said, the right mindset, the right numbers, you're in control, you're really approaching your business in the right way, there's no reason why you can't look after your health as well. And we've had business owners share their experiences on the show. They were burning out and then they realized, I can take a day off. It's my business. And Kelly Heine was talking about it. And how she realized that she was just going to end up doing more and more and more if she didn't do something. So she took one afternoon a week off, and then she's developed her business around that idea, and it's been fine. In fact, her business runs better because people can see that she trusts them to run the business in her absence, and that she needs that time. So yeah, we can have that. So brilliant advice. Thank you. So if people want to know more about building their six-figure profit or about working with you, where's the best place for them to go and find you?
They can find me on my website, tibaalkhalidy.com. They can find me on LinkedIn, Instagram, they can find me on Facebook. Yes, and I think that's where they can find me.
Brilliant. Thank you. I'll put all of those links in the show notes so people can click through easily. And I believe you were going to offer the audience a six-figure profit audit. Do you want to explain a little bit about that?
Yes, that's right. Yeah. So the six-figure audit is we will have half an hour together. We go through everything in the business and every basically numbers as a turnover, as a profit, and we go at other things because every numbers means something. So that is how we take it, and then we'll look at the business as a whole. And in this way, we will find out is actually what is missing in the business and why they haven't reached six-figure profit yet. It's a very easy audit, very straightforward, but has got a lot of value for entrepreneurs.
Yeah, easy for you, I would say.
I make it easy for them as well. Is this simplicity? I believe in simplicity. We don't need to complicate things. Business is easy if we want to make it easy.
I love that. So how do people get hold of this audit? Do they need to go anywhere specific, or will they find it on your website?
They can email me, they can book, and there is a link as well in the website. They can book a time slot and we can do the audit.
Brilliant. Thank you. That's so generous of you. Well, thank you, Tiba. I've really enjoyed this conversation, and I'm have to admit I'm not a number person. I'm just calculate, so it's always been a case of, yeah, I'll just delegate that bit. So I think I'll be having to have a conversation with you.
Thank you for having me, and it was a pleasure actually to share my knowledge with you on your channel.
You're welcome. Thanks, Tiba.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. I hope you have found this episode helpful and now have a start point. Now understand, if you've been feeling a little bit uncomfortable about the numbers in your business, but feeling guilty perhaps because you know it's so important, that now you've got an idea of how you can start to make that shift, how you can start to address the mindset side that may well be holding you back, so you can set yourself free to achieve that six-figure business and that six-figure profit going forward. If you have found this episode helpful and valuable, then do share it with your network and business besties and leave a review on iTunes or Spotify. It really does help more people to find the show and benefit from all the amazing advice that my guests so generously share. And don't forget to come and join us in the Dream Clients Club, melittacampbell.com/club, where you can join the next masterclass all on visibility mindset and join in a discussion about today's show around your six-figure mindset as well. So I look forward to seeing you over there. It's completely free to join that community. There's heaps of training inside there for you, plus a wonderfully supportive community. And when we are working alone, we're trying to achieve new things, we're pushing out of our comfort zone, it makes all the difference to have a supportive, like-minded community around you, people who believe in your vision, believe in you, and are there to support you every step of the way. So do come and join us at melittacampbell.com/club. Meantime, there are a lot more tools, tips, and insights coming up for you in the next episode. So I look forward to seeing you again next week. Bye.